Hi there, folks, and welcome into the Truck King YouTube channel. We just got exciting news in the world of pickup trucks because there is a brand new automaker that wants to enter the market with this. This is the Slate truck, and it claims to be an affordable all-electric mini truck. And I want to tell you all about it, but more importantly, Dad and I are going to react to this thing and just talk about whether or not we really think this is what customers want. So make sure you stay tuned. Before we offer our opinions, first let's just go over what this thing is. So the company is called Slate Auto, and the idea behind the name is that the product is a blank slate. So it comes very basic, but then you can add more onto it. So let's take a look at this Slate truck. So first of all, it is an EV. It has a single motor in the rear end, so that means it's also rear wheel drive, and that motor is putting out 201 horsepower. For the range, you're going to have a standard battery pack that offers 150 miles of range, and then an extended battery pack that offers up to 240 miles of range. Now I want to talk about the size because this thing is properly small, smaller even than the Ford Maverick, which is the smallest truck currently on sale today in North America, or I should say in the United States and in Canada. So first of all, this Slate truck, if you want to get a sort of an idea for how big it is the same size as the 1984 Toyota truck. So yes, we're really going back to the days when trucks were properly small. Overall length on the Slate is 174.6 inches. The wheelbase on the Slate is 108.9. Width comes in at 70.6 inches, while the overall height is 69.3 inches. And then talking about the bed, you get a 5-foot bed with a maximum width at 50 inches. So it's a legitimate sized bed, but yes, just a 2-seat cab up there. There's no rear seats here either. So like I said, this is a properly small truck. Maximum payload here is pegged at 1,400 pounds, while the max tow rating Slate says is around 1,000 pounds. So they haven't, offered an exact number there yet, but around 1,000. Now, when it comes time to go and charge, Slate says that with a level 2 charger, you're going to add between 25 and 40 miles of range per hour. So that's going to be a full charge in between 4 and 8 hours. If you can get to a level 3 fast charger, you're going to be adding 20 to 80% charge in just 30 minutes. So that is pretty dang quick. But of course, the overall range isn't huge. And then if you are stuck using just a level 1 charger, that's just a 120 volt household outlet, you're going to be adding 2 to 5 miles every hour. That means overnight, you're only going to be adding between 20 and 50 miles. So yeah, the level 1 charge is going to take quite a while to go back to full. Now, when it comes to features, like I mentioned, there's not a lot at the base level, and that's what Slate is going for. When you get this truck, there's things like manual crank windows, old school manual locks on the doors. There's no infotainment system here. All Slate gives you is a holder for your phone, or an accessory holder is available for a larger tablet. So you have to bring along the technology to this truck. In the base model, there's not even speakers, so there's no radio there either. So yes, when I say base, I mean properly base. Now, some of the other safety features here, which come in the base truck, include traction control, electronic stability control. There is automatic emergency braking. That is pretty cool. You still have driver and passenger airbags plus side curtain airbags. So the safety is built in. Remote keyless entry, that is cool. There is a backup camera. Of course, that's required by law, so you do have a backup camera. Pedestrian identification is built into this truck. There's auto high beams and forward collision warning. So while they've really, skimped out on the interior upgrades for the base truck, there is some pretty decent safety that comes along with the Slate. By now you're saying, well, what does it cost? Well, Slate says it's going to have a starting price around $20,000, but that is after federal incentives, and the federal incentive in the US right now is $7,500. So the actual starting price here is going to be around $27,500 before the incentive is applied. The other real different thing that Slate is doing is offering a massive catalog of accessories, and that's it. There's no trim levels or packages here. You can go through that catalog and pick all of your options a la carte one by one. And yes, if you do want things like powered windows and a stereo, Slate will sell them to you, but you got to go in there and check off those option boxes. So yeah, there's tons of accessories available, and probably the most exciting one is an SUV conversion kit. You can actually buy that and do it yourself. Convert your truck into a 5-passenger SUV. What's more, there's even 2 different styles of that SUV roof, so you can really choose which one suits you better. And that makes this really unique in the marketplace. This is something that some of our SUVs used to do back in the 70s, but we haven't had a vehicle that could convert from a truck to an SUV in quite some time. So that is a unique feature definitely here on the Slate. So now you've got all the details, let's just talk about this truck. And now the first thing I noticed is that the CEO of Slate is a former Fiat Chrysler engineer. This company is also backed, in part anyways, by Jeff Bezos. So unlike some other electric truck manufacturers that ended up just being vaporware, that brought out these flashy products that never made it to market, the Slate right from the get-go just never felt like that. It feels like a really legitimately thought out plan. So when they say that Slate will be available on the market at the end of 2026 as a 2027 model year, I tend to believe them just based on sort of the presentation we saw, the people who are involved. I don't think this is just pure vaporware and we'll never see it. Now that remains to be seen. In 1 year's time, I could be dead wrong. So yes, we'll have to revisit that one. But I'll also gladly say that I am hopeful that this Slate will come to market because it does feel like something the market has been crying out for. A properly affordable electric vehicle. And notice I didn't say electric truck because honestly, EV trucks haven't been that well received on the whole. What we really just need is a small, affordable EV that offers people basic transportation. And in this case, it just so happens to be a pickup truck, which is exciting. But more importantly, yes, this is going to open up the EV space to a lot of new customers. And I think that is a good thing. Now, let me speak on the range. 150 miles at the base. It's not a ton. However, most Americans don't drive over 150 miles in a day. So I do think that range limits it to more of an urban vehicle. If you live out in the country on a farm, that might not be enough range for you. But basically anyone who lives in an urban center, that is enough range to do most of your daily driving. And luckily Slate realized, we should have an upgraded offering. So with 240 miles, that's quite a bit of range. That's plenty to get you around most places. And I think what a lot of people forget who don't own EVs is that when you own one of these things and you get a level 2 charger installed at your house, you wake up every day with a full charge. So it's not like you ever have to stop at the gas station every morning. You're ready to go. So there obviously has to be a trade-off between range and price. And I feel personally like these range numbers are enough to attract buyers and just not change their lifestyle that much. Now, talking about the interior features, this one is the most interesting to me because the trend in the marketplace is more features, more technology, more luxury. People just keep on asking for more, and automakers keep giving it to us. The level of luxury we get in our trucks now is unbelievable. Every feature that you could imagine is packed in there. And quite frankly, the automakers just keep chasing the money. Consumers keep buying expensive luxury trucks, so automakers keep on building them. And clearly the Slate here just absolutely goes against that grain, which is why I really view it as a litmus test. Because if it does well, it proves that there is an appetite for those basic trucks and that not everybody cares about having those features. If it doesn't do well, it proves what the other OEMs already think they know, which is that consumers generally want more and they want the fanciest new technology out there. And the one that truly bugs me is the lack of speakers. I can live with roll-up windows. I can live with manual locks. I can live without the infotainment screen. In fact, most of us love Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. We already just want to use our phones in our cars anyway. So that was a brilliant move by them. Just let me stick my phone up there. I just think they could have given us speakers. Like just a stereo feels like a very basic thing. That doesn't feel like an upgrade. So that's the one miss in my book. Outside of that, I love that we have this basic offering, and I don't even know. I don't even think I can predict how well it's going to do. Right now, it's just a stand back and watch, and this thing is really going to prove whether or not people want this basic transportation. So that's my take on it. I want Dad to weigh in, though. He's been around for a lot longer than I have. He's seen a lot more trucks come and go. So let's get Dad to give us his 2 cents right now.
So the Slate pickup truck, or a clean slate, as the designers want to call it. Something new, but more importantly, something with less, and a less of a price. Now, it's electric, 150 miles of range, give or take not quite 300 kilometers. However, that's fine. And if Slate is to be believed, then they've done what Elon Musk has been saying he's going to do, but hasn't, which is produce a sub $25,000 Tesla. So we're talking about crank windows, not even a radio in the thing. It's dead simple. However, you can go in and, just like old school back in the 70s, we'd sit down with the dealer and say, yeah, here's my vehicle, and I want this, line items, not these packages of things. Just line items so you can pick exactly what matters to you. But they've gone one step further, which is that on the day that you purchase that truck, if all you can afford is the base model, well, that's fine. You take it home. And a year later, things are looking up. You're doing a little better, got some money in your pocket. You get in touch with them and say, well, you know what? Now I want the radio. Now I want these other features. No problem. They'll supply them. They'll even give you a tutorial on how to install them yourself. You know what? All this stuff sounds amazing. And of course, at my age, when it's amazing, it worries me as to whether or not the execution will be up to the hype. But right now, you know what? This truck is pushing all the right buttons, and I am really, really excited to see what this thing looks like when it gets here. Oh, and let's not forget, no dealers. You're going to deal directly with the company. So, fingers crossed, it's as good as it sounds.
And there you have it, folks. Now you have all our thoughts on this new Slate truck. More than anything, I'm just excited to see a brand new truck come into the marketplace, offering an entirely different take on pickup trucks based on what's out there right now. And I can't wait to see how it does. I guess the one thing I'll leave you with is good luck, Slate Auto, because I do want you to succeed. Now, yes, Slate says that these trucks will be on the market in late 2026, and they will be built somewhere in the Midwest in the United States, but they haven't actually announced exactly where just yet. They've just said that they're going to repurpose another old factory. And as of right now, sales are only planned for the United States, so no other countries, as of now, are going to get the Slate. But I bet if it's successful, that will probably change. So yeah, that's it for this one. Please drop in the comments. I want to hear all your thoughts on this Slate truck. As always, while you're down below, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King to see what we're testing next. See ya.